was the year of silver breakout. 2026 is the year of silver repricing. Over the past year, silver did not simply rally. It exited a decade-long suppression range. It broke major technical ceilings and it began attracting a completely different class of buyer than it had during the 2011 to 2024 period. We are now entering the first full year of a new monetary regime. Hey, welcome. No longer behaving like a suppressed commodity. Getting set up. Behave like a monetary asset once again. In December 2025, Federal Reserve Treasury purchases by the Fed. Today, the Federal Open Market Committee decided to lower our policy interest rate a quarter percentage point. We also decided to initiate purchases of short-term Treasury securities solely for the purpose of maintaining an ample supply of reserves over time, thus supporting effective control of the policy rate. A quiet but critical pivot back toward balance sheet expansion that signals renewed debt monetization by the central bank. This marks the quiet restart of balance sheet expansion. Metals do not respond to CPI headlines, they respond to liquidity. And 2026 is the first full year where that fresh liquidity impulse can flow into asset prices, including the precious metals. There are even emerging signs that silver is re entering the monetary sphere globally. India has recently approved silver as loan collateral and as an eligible pension fund asset, a structural shift that will shift silver from purely cyclical industrial demand towards balance sheet demand. India is also likely to become one of the dominant silver consumers as deglobalization accelerates. China has introduced export restrictions on strategic metals beginning in 2026, including silver. As global supply chains fragment, silver increasingly behaves like a strategic resource rather than a freely flowing commodity. In fact, the US recently deemed silver a critical strategic metal. This transition reduces the ability of derivative markets to dictate price. On a multi-decade chart, silver completed and broke out of a massive 4.5 decade cup and handle pattern in 2025, a formation that began forming after the 1980 peak. This is not a short-term technical pattern. It represents more than 40 years of suppressed pricing, consolidation, and accumulation. When patterns of this scale resolve, they do not signal small moves, they signal generational regime shifts in valuation. Silver finished 2025 up approximately 147%, making it one of the strongest performing major assets on Earth for the year. And this was not a one off spike, it was a persistent structural uptrend. In late December, silver traded at a major premium on the Shanghai Gold Exchange versus Western markets, forcing physical arbitrage and temporarily shifting price discovery east. The SGE has been closed since January 1st for the New Year holiday, but when trading resumes on January 5th, things could get interesting. Despite the breakout, silver remains historically undervalued by multiple valuation metrics. On July 1st, 1941, at 2:29 p.m. exactly, Bullock aired the first ever television commercial and revolutionized advertising. That's why today, Apple Performance TV is teaming up with the trailblazing brands to announce the biggest revolution in TV advertising since that day. Thank you for joining me, guys. It can be here, Ryan. Going to be talking about the elegant simplicity of control. So you get me. Okay. Oh, good God. Okay, yes. Go to me. Mountain's on a mission to bring the power of TV advertising to all brands. So we created Mountain Match, an entirely new way for brands to find their ideal TV audience. Using AI to analyze your brand, it builds your personalized keyword-based ads. First, you can add and remove keywords, just like you do in paid search. Then it scores the keywords and categorizes the keywords in 99% of US households to identify people most likely to when they see your commercial. And look at these results. Mountain Match is literally matching brands to their perfect customer. Pretty impressive. Well, I did with her. I meant Mountain Match. Me too. Let's see. Some coffee. Yeah. Come. Give me 60 seconds and we'll show you why you should be buying silver and how we get started. Continuing price spikes in industries, healthcare, housing, the story of inflation. Everyone seeing their dollar inches less every year. As the reality of inflation sinks in, investors are acting to diversify to protect themselves, their families, and their savings. That's why many people are offering a silver starter kit to help you get started in holding tangible value. This of a new recommended forms of silver includes 9 silver pencils, but only 4 12 ounces of silver. Silver is popular and really recognized, making it easy to sell that for cash. Low transaction costs and transparent pricing are one of the reasons investors can get those many minutes. The best precious metals dealer in America. Don't waste any more time. Start protecting your savings today. Increasing your silver at moneymills.com/go. Everybody, starts over day. Hope you're doing well. Did silver put in a final blow off top at $121? The sharp correction at the end of the year just the first real shakeout in a much bigger move? That's the question that everyone has been asking. Silver runs to $121, then we get a violent correction. Social media fills up with that famous anatomy of a bubble chart. You've seen it. It's been circulating everywhere. The idea being that we just experienced the blow off phase, the bull trap, and now comes the long, painful return to the mean. But here's the thing, it's one thing to post the bubble chart, it's another thing to actually put it into context. Let's walk through it. If January was truly the blow off top, then the sentiment should have looked a certain way. At a real mania peak, everybody is talking about the asset. CNBC running silver segments every day. Your neighbor asking how to buy silver. Retail stackers piling in aggressively. Premiums exploding because no one wants to sell. And that is not what happened. When silver broke above $100, what did we see? Retail dumped physical, and not just dumped, people were rushing to sell, in some cases at a significant discount to spot. There was a lot of supply hitting the market. Sentiment collapsed almost immediately. Instead of euphoria, we got fear. That doesn't look like the real blow off phase of a bubble. That looks like disbelief. That looks like early bull market behavior climbing a wall of worry where people still don't trust the move. And that brings us back to that bubble chart that's been floating around. It shows the first sell off and the bear trap before the real mania phase. The chart itself isn't wrong. The question is simply, where are we on the chart right now? Because if you compare what the blow off phase is supposed to look like, illusion, greed, talk of a new paradigm, to what we actually saw in January, it just doesn't match up. Now, let's look at price itself. After that January correction, silver carved out what looked very much like an inverse head and shoulders bob. I'll put the chart up on the screen. Not the prettiest textbook pattern, but markets rarely give you perfect textbook setup. We had the left shoulder after the first bounce, then the head, that deep washout low down to around $64 an ounce, then a higher low forming the right shoulder. Then we broke above the neckline. Then we pushed back into that horizontal resistance zone, the purple area on the chart. And this Friday, we had a weekly close above the resistance. Silver pullback.
Hey, welcome. Could start the first auction on this card. I got many other stuff. It's just
A long time. Now let's add a macro layer. Let me show you the S&P 500 Schiller PE ratio. Right now, we're sitting above 40.
the illusion
The only time
rookies.
in modern history that it was meaningfully higher was during the dot-com bubble. We are in
Derrick Rose.
rare valuation territory for equity.
Got this green emerald.
U.S. equities versus global equities. That ratio is higher now than during the Nifty 50. It's higher than during the internet bubble. The concentration in the so-called Magnificent Seven is unparalleled. Historically, when stock market valuations reach these kinds of extremes,
And that was embarrassing.
equity returns are weak. And historically, those periods have also marked excellent long-term entry points for hard assets, including silver. I'll put up the long-term silver chart here. Look at the Nifty 50 era. Look at the dot-com bubble. In both cases, silver went on to deliver massive moves in the years that followed. And here's what's interesting. We're starting this cycle from a much higher base than in the 1970s or even the early 2000s, which means a proportional move could be dramatically larger in nominal terms. So put it all together. Sentiment during the January peak did not resemble mania. Price structure following the correction resembled a bullish continuation pattern. Silver is still up over 30% year to date. Equity valuations are historically stretched. If this really is the first sell off inside the larger mania phase and not the final blow off top, then the question becomes how do you position for this? Well, one billionaire who called the 2000s silver market is Mr. Eric Sprott. He stands as one of the most legendary figures in precious metals investing. To me, his name is synonymous with unwavering conviction in gold and especially silver. He founded Sprott Asset Management, growing it into a global powerhouse managing billions in precious metals focused funds, including some of the world's largest physical silver trusts. He now predicts silver could reach $150 to $300 in this cycle. Kellogg's cereal. Four simple ingredients plus vitamins and minerals. That's it. To find a new way, sometimes you have to paint it yourself. Introducing the latest additions on the Trail Sport line. 126 CRV Trail Sport line.
For a noticeably whiter smile, try and nail tape in one day.
Last 3 years, the brown bunker.
It's real. Do you have to take this? I've tried this. I was just got longer. Just checking. Is Olympic Prep officially a deliverable now, or are we still prioritizing tracking invoices and updates?
How about both? It's live with Zoho Creator.
Can it actually build apart your KPI tracker?
I just said see the AI inside of the platform. You can just type the prompts and it builds the structure all on its own. It even sees data from our CRM and integrates everything, whether it's social apps or any other software.
What exactly are you doing?
I have more complex stuff. Low code with the frames and fully extended. Olympics or Boy of the Month? So let's say if the gold price is 4,500, which is near, makes the calculation easy. Silver should be at $300. That's where it should be. I looked at which companies Eric Sprott is a shareholder of, where the main metal is silver. Pure plays on silver. There are very few of those. Eric Sprott owns roughly 4% of Kootenay Silver, OTC ticker KOOYF, the sponsor of today's video, our newest pure play silver for 2026. The ticker symbol is KOOYF, and it is available on Schwab, Fidelity, Interactive Brokers, and E-Trade. Back in
I got this one right here.
mid-
Hoping to get more people in.
Analysts published these price targets for Kootenai silver. Research Capital with $2.70 Canadian and Red Cloud with $3.20 Canadian, equivalent to roughly $2 USD. Today, with silver up more than 100% since this was published, Kootenai silver shares are $1.49 USD. Conduct your due diligence on Kootenai Silver, which owns 4 silver projects containing one of the largest resources of any junior explorer. Kootenai Silver is my #1 silver pure play for 2026 because of the following catalysts. Kootenai Silver owns 4 silver deposits. Quality silver assets are scarce, yet Kootenai Silver owns 4 of them. They are proving to be the exception. A staggering 223 million ounces of silver equivalent in the measured and indicated category, and an additional 111 million ounces silver equivalent.
Hey, welcome to my stream. I'm running
The
this.
physical shortage and deficits are mounting as well. The global silver market has entered its 6th consecutive year of structural deficit, with the 2026 shortfall projected at
Red eyes.
67 million ounces. This chronic imbalance follows a massive 2025 deficit of 149 to 230 million ounces, contributing to an accumulated gap of nearly 900 million ounces since 2021. Only a handful of
I got a
this
insert one.
great. This is the most important piece of information I can share with you right now. James McDonald, Kootenai Silver's president and CEO, is definitely ready for this.
Yeah, red eyes. Fearless. Red credit.
James
Okay,
McDonald,
guys.
now CEO of Kootenai Silver, played a pivotal role in creating Alamos Gold Inc., a company that delivered quadruple-digit returns during the early to mid 2000s. From its inception in 2003 through 2012, the company's share price soared dramatically, rising from penny stock levels sub $1 in 2003 to well over $10 to $15 by the early 2010s peak, multi-thousand% gains for early shareholders. Kootenai Silver is a pure play silver. The company is positioned well for this bull market, with James McDonald leading. In 2020, still a full 2 years before the company's most successful drill hole, which was done on September 8th, 2022, Eric Sprott bought shares for $4 Canadian, double their current price. In 2025, Eric Sprott added more shares. I'll show you black and white mathematical valuations below. As you can see, as of January 1st, 2026, when comparing between various silver companies, their enterprise value, which is the market cap when deducting cash and debt, divided by the size of their resource size, that's ounces of silver equivalent, we see that Kootenai Silver is priced at only 36 cents per ounce of silver equivalent, whereas the average of these select 15 companies is $2.18 per ounce. With silver above $90 per ounce, and with global all-in sustaining cost to mine silver sitting just below $25 per ounce, the viability of advancing projects into production is far higher than 1 year ago. Kootenai Silver, with its market cap of 188 million Canadian dollars, is scheduled to drill about 70,000 meters in the coming 12 months. That's $2,570 of market cap for every meter. I love that. As you can see, no other silver company has so much drilling planned and underway with that low of a market cap. Research Kootenai Silver and do your homework on it, as we are in a silver bull market that is front and center. And as always, don't go out and buy a stock just because you heard about it here. This isn't financial advice, and you've got to do your own due diligence. Great place to start is with the Kootenai Silver link down in the description. So do me a favor, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. Was silver's January high a final blow off top, or was it just the first major sell off in a much bigger bull market? Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe and happy stacking, and I will catch you next time. Smart Silver Stacker out.
You're in pressure and you're performing. Share files and get actionable insights with AI. All the news smarter, share PDF. Yeah.
Money Metals is offering a silver starter kit to help you get started in building tangible wealth. This mix of our most recommended forms of silver contains 9 silver coins, totaling 4 trillion ounces of pure silver. These silver coins are popular and widely recognized, making them easy to sell out for cash too. Don't waste any more time. Start protecting your savings today with physical silver at moneymetals.com/go.
When it comes to a theme park visit, probably the last thing you think about is the parking lot. But folks, it's time to rewire your brain because in fact, the parking lot is one of the most important parts of the theme park experience. And trust me when I say, every theme park from Disney to Six Flags puts a considerable amount of effort into getting their parking lot experience right. Why? Well, folks, when you go to a theme park, what's the very first thing that you do? You park your car. It is the introduction to the theme park experience. It's the introduction to the day ahead. It is the trend setter for how the day is going to go. So it's imperative for these theme parks to really set the standard and set the stage going forward for the rest of your day. So that way you have a positive experience in the park. The last thing they need is for the parking lot experience to go awry in a negative way and start your day off sour, or to just be a boring and mundane or tedious task that ultimately leaves you not really having that great mood heading into the park. And when it comes to getting that parking lot experience right, no one has done it better than Universal Orlando. You see, folks, when it comes to building a parking lot or parking structure, the name of the game is functionality and efficiency. You have to make the parking process as easy, as simple, and as fast as possible. You cannot be giving your guests a headache before they've even entered your theme park. That is not a good way to start their day. You need to make this process as simple as possible. And I mean, Universal's original parking lot back in 1990, when they only had Universal Studios Florida, it was a flat parking lot. Let me tell you, this parking lot absolutely met the functionality standard. It was about as plain as it gets, but bottom line is that it got the job done. However, in 1999, when Universal had to expand their parking lot offerings because, well, they needed more spaces to accommodate their second theme park, Islands of Adventure. They had grander ambitions with their parking lot because they knew that it was a great opportunity to really set the stage and set the mood for their guests and make a grand introduction for them, even if was in a really subtle way. They didn't want just to be a super efficient parking operation. They also want to add something to the themed experience, even if it was tiny and relatively unnoticeable. And for as much as I'm going to praise Universal's park operation, the fact matter is, folks, this idea of doing something special with your parking situation was not Universal's idea. They got it from, of course, a big brother Disney, right? Disney, through the means of their transportation systems, were able to set the stage and add an introduction to the parking experience. They didn't necessarily do anything with the parking lot structures themselves. They're all but it's the means of transportation, the monorail, the trams, the ferries that add something special to parking at Disney and really helps to get people into the mood, start to feel that classic signature Disney magic before they even enter into the park. And Universal was kind of setting themselves up for a grand challenge to be able to sort of replicate that experience that Disney was able to pull off via their transportation systems through just the parking lot itself. A challenging prospect, absolutely. And I know I probably sound like a madman right now because I'm hyping up what appears to be a standard looking parking garage and saying that's adding something meaningful to your theme park experience, which might even be crazy visited Universal Orlando and parked in this parking garage. You may be looking at me like I got 10 heads right now, too, because you probably never even noticed the subtle details that Universal has put into this parking garage that, whether consciously or subconsciously, have actually been impacting your theme park experience and visit
Hey,
Universal
welcome.
Orlando. Memorable goal, and that Universal had to still execute first and foremost on the functionality and efficiency
Uh,
of the experience. They still have to make sure that even with all these more spaces, even with always more people parking at the resort, but they can still park efficiently and quickly and without any trouble or hassle. And in fact, the first step in that was creating something, quite frankly, that had unbelievable capacity. Because here's the thing, folks, this parking garage had to be so big, so colossal, so massive that it actually accommodates over 19,000 spaces, meaning that, believe it or not, folks, it is the largest parking garage. So not only is it good from a themed entertainment perspective, but it also happens to be a massive architectural and mechanical marvel here right next to a theme park. How about that? And as cool as it is that you've stepped foot inside of an engineering icon, that's not really what makes this parking garage special. All start with these little beauties. These six are the core part of the parking garage experience. Of course, like most theme park parking lots, they are going to have icons spread out throughout the area to make sure you remember where you. It's that simple. And of course, these icons also do serve that purpose. I mean, after all, they're not only identifiable via color, but they're also identifiable via symbol. But these six icons, King Kong, Jaws, Jurassic Park, Spider-Man, E.T., and the Hat, folks, let me tell you, they are not just symbols to help you remember where you park. They actually mean a whole lot more than that. As in each of these sections, you will hear music and sound effects that go alongside the icon for which section you parked in. So, for instance, for King Kong, you would hear the sounds of King Kong roaring at the top of his lungs and the sounds of the jungle. In the Jaws and E.T. sections, you would hear the iconic John Williams scores associated with those films. In the Spider-Man section, you would hear the iconic instrumental theme of Spider-Man himself. And then finally, for Cat in the Hat, you arguably hear the most tiring piece of music you could possibly imagine as you get to hear the soundtrack, the score from the Cat in the Hat ride and the music from the Seuss Landing section of Islands of Adventure. So, I mean, that is perfectly leading into the types of experiences you are going to have in this theme park. You're going to set the mood, and they're going to get the goosebumps going on your arm because you know piece of music you are and what experience you're setting yourself up for. This whole experience leading up to this, it just felt like parking at any normal place. But as soon as you hear that music, as soon as you see those symbols, all of a sudden something clicks. And on top of these pieces of musical notation, sort of, really adding to the experience and really, introducing you to the world of Universal, what they also do is they act as another form of practicality because they help you remember where you park. If you remember what it sounded like where you parked in the sound of music that was being made in the area where you parked, well, hey, that's just another way to remember where you parked. Yeah, maybe it's not the most realistic that someone's going to use that to remember where they parked, but it doesn't hurt either. But speaking of practicality, this parking garage also carries with it another practical that just easy. It really all starts from, of course, the moving walkway, the famous part of Universal's parking garage that, again, sets the stage perfectly for a day at Universal and is a perfect way to end off the day at Universal. Of course, if you do decide to, walk on the moving walkway, you actually gain about a 1.5 mile per hour extra speed from walking on these. So that's just a useful thing, right, to get you to security and get you into City Walk faster. But even if you choose not to walk and save your energy for the park itself, or just relax after a long day of walking in the park, well, it still is a practical way and practical means of getting you back to your car or into City Walk, either way. And actually, is through this and the escalators that Universal has actually, in a way, been able to create their own form of transportation
Right.
between the parking structure and City
Try to
Walk.
get more people in here because I got some other stuff I'm gonna be auctioning.
Universal pump more music into these sections where you're walking from parking
Uh,
lot to City Walk. That again hypes you up for your
that card.
experience, sort of gets you in the mood and right mindset to enjoy the park. But there's also a number of signage. I mean, yeah, these are basically just ads that sort of show what's going to be featured in the park. But hey, it still works as sort of hyping you up for the park experience. And of course, they have great views of the park and City Walk ahead as you're walking down these pathways. But the bigger is that Universal, yeah,
And Paul George.
Universal has a message that is so iconic, that is so synonymous that it can't help but put a smile across your face every time you hear it.
The moving walk exit is approaching. Please watch your step.
It's a classic, and we talked about a lot today how Universal is trying to meet the standards that Disney has set in their sort of parking and transportation game. Universal having to do it all through the parking lot itself.
Got
And
this.
it
And
relies on
the
other
Optic.
sets of
Yeah, I'm
moving
not really good at the names. I just try.
Universal's moving walkway is essentially Universal's monorail because Disney has that same sort of iconic line that's all about safety for the
Okay.
Clear of the door. Por favor, manténganse adentro.
Oh no, wait, did that one.
It's simple things like these folks that seem innocuous, that seem pointless, that seem like they shouldn't add any sort of value to your experience.
Yeah, Florida Gator cracked ice.
They actually do. And for Universal, it's proven that it's all the little things that add up to an improved experience. None of these things individually stand out as anything special, but you throw the whole enchilada together, and you already have a smile on your face even before you step foot in these theme parks. Step foot in City Walk itself. You've already had your day brightened simply because of all the tiny things Universal has done to not only make
Got a rookie here. Dante Washington Jr.
Small touches that set you in the mood and prepare you for the day ahead. And the cherry on top of all of this is the fact that Universal actually takes fantastic care of their parking garage. They're constantly doing maintenance on it. They avoid having any sort of difficulties as much as possible.
Got what? Dwight Howard. Orlando Magic. Up with that.
Walking on it, and they've even gone ahead and added in digital signs that can be easily swapped out on a dime instead of having to go up there and physically put in a new sheet of paper to display up there. They can change these things out all the time for different holidays and events. And again,
Got this Frostbite finishers. Jay Monty. Mo. Oh, never mind. I'm not good at weird names.
Blazing this thing, boasting about how great it is, and I never use it.
Is it good?
Silly that seems
Kevin Garnett.
But the fact about it, this parking lot that makes me absolutely sick to my stomach, and that is the price of admission. Over $30 to park your car in this parking garage. As great as it is, as far as parking lots and parking garages go, folks, it is not worth 30 plus bucks to park here. I hate to break it to you. I will always, without fail, take some other form of transportation to get here, whether it's by walking, by bus, by Uber, whatever it is, to avoid paying that fee because it's absolutely obscene. And it's funny because parking never used to be this way. For a long time, parking was if not straight up free at a lot of these theme parks, but now they've become paid for things that are not only paid for, but quite frankly, are obscenely expensive for what you're getting. And I mean, listen, folks, I'm not the only person who thinks this. I think pretty much everyone.
NBA hoops.
These parking prices are outrageous. They are obscene. And I'm not saying like comparatively talking. I mean, if we're talking about competitors, basically about this that he's going to charge you, and it's actually less than what a SeaWorld or a Six Flags would charge you, where it's going to charge like 40 bucks to park your car.
I got this wire card mat.
They charge you at some of these places to park, but why do they do it? How do they get away with it? It's because no one buys their tickets at the gate anymore. Everyone buys their tickets online in advance before they go, and then by the time you already show up to the park, you can buy hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for theme park tickets. And what are you gonna do? You're gonna be like, oh, they're asking me for $30, $40 to park. I'm gonna turn my car around right now and not come back. Like, no, they know you're not gonna do that. You know that you've already paid a substantial amount of money to be here. So guess what?
This
You've already paid a substantial amount more than that to go to the park then. So it's a sad reality, and I guess I give Universal and Disney a little bit more credit here because at least they're not raking you over the coals in the same way that SeaWorld or Six Flags are, but still, it's still a ripoff even at $30. It's just ridiculous. And we're assuming that Epic Universe is going
Running that
to
now.
similar to that for their parking. Hey, guess what? I ain't parking there either, especially out there because they're getting a flat parking lot with comparatively sort of more generic themes in Explorer, Monster, Viking, Gamer, and Hero. Like, okay, whatever. Like, that parking lot is not going to hold a candle to what Universal has managed to pull off with this parking garage already. Now, to be clear, it's not trying to do that. It's trying to do
Hmm.
a solution for Epic Universe. Of course, the long-term plan is going to be to build their own parking garage.
I got Mosaic, Thunder Road, Zion, Remington.
So there's no need to build a parking garage. Maybe in a decade or two, perhaps then Universal will invest in a parking garage here, and maybe then they'll have the same level of sort of theming and immersion and fun that this parking garage brings to the table. But for now, you won't catch me dead in that parking lot. Believe me. But let me tell you, folks, I'm much more sad to not be parking in the existing Universal Orlando parking garage because, of course, it brings so much to the table. It really sets the stage. It really gets your mood going. It gets your blood pumping, and it gets you excited.
All right, let's start on this.
Avoiding it always does feel like I'm missing something by not parking there. So this is not a rant coming from somebody who
Paul
knows how
Gasol.
great the parking garage is because all the time. Parking garages because I never use it and I miss it. I feel the impact of not parking them on every visit. As silly as it is to say, it really does make a difference. So really, this whole video is just a ploy for me to beg and plead Universal to lower the price.
A flip rookie of John Thomas.
Here multiple times throughout the year instead of never parking here. So just a thought. I'm sure that probably applies to a bunch of other people as well, especially for locals who want to go to City Walk during the day, but then have to pay $30 to park.
I got this Mike Bibby and his dad Henry.
If you want to watch another stupid video about one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, please click the video on your screen right now. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Oh shoot! Everyone's leaving. And before I even get
Mountain is transforming TV advertising by focusing on performance. And we've got an amazing team of people to do it, like Seymour Rojas. Tell people what you do here at Mountain, Steve.
Well, I'm in charge of performance. We believe TV should be bought, targeted, and measured like search or social, the other performance channels.
That's fast.
Yeah, way faster than traditional TV buying, and it comes with real-time reporting.
Which is going to people can see results in a flash.
Yeah, I guess.
Why are you still? I have to be more fun. You'll always be. Well, I heard Steve.
Are you thinking about buying Bitcoin but don't know where to start? With CoinFlip ATMs, you can easily buy crypto with cash. Simple, convenient, and secure. Our widespread ATM network makes it easy to buy crypto, and our award-winning 24/7 customer support is here to help guide you along the way. With over 5,000 locations worldwide, there's a CoinFlip ATM near you. Visit coinflip.tech and find your nearest location today.
More so than any other theme park, Universal Orlando has perhaps the most legendary, iconic list of old attractions that have since been replaced. After all, Universal's name in the game, ever since they opened, has been destroy, build, destroy, rinse, and repeat. open a new ride, eventually it's getting closed and replaced by something else. This is not Disney World where we're keeping rides around till the end of time. That's not happening at Universal. At least that's been the story up to this point. Now with Epic Universe's plot of land now within Universal's holding, they don't necessarily have to replace rides as much as they had previously. Because the main reason for that was not necessarily just because they wanted to get rid of these old rides, though in some cases they most certainly did. In many cases, it was because they simply didn't have the land to expand the park or build new attractions without replacing something. They simply had to replace things if they wanted to keep updating the park, freshening up, and advancing the experiences that they were offering. Disney, on the other hand, has the luxury of operating basically a small city of their own with plenty of land to expand and build should they choose to. However, now that Universal has more land to call their own, of course, they don't have to do as much replacing, but they also now have more opportunities to build more attractions, which means more opportunities to potentially bring back old attractions that were previously played. And we're already starting to see auditions take place, as Universal has already brought back a number of properties that previously had attraction for a limited time movie parade, the Mega Movie Parade that brings back Jaws, Back to the Future, and Ghostbusters into the park in a major way they've never been in before and haven't been in since their rides have closed. And to go alongside this, you also have more merchandise for these properties at the limited time summer tribute store. So basically, the reason why I'm calling this an audition is because Universal is testing the level of interest in these properties in the parks once again. Because of course, we obviously see the discourse online. Everyone and the mother wants Jaws back. Everyone and the mother wants Back to the Future back, right? That's the overwhelming consensus online. But as we know, a lot of times the consensus online is not necessarily what people actually think, and it's just kind of a vocal minority of people who actually believe that. So Universal probably do some sort of market research here in bringing these properties back to the park in a meaningful way without going ahead and investing in attraction without really knowing just quite how interested the general public is in these properties coming back. And the property that's arguably getting the biggest audition, the grandest one, is Ghostbusters. Obviously, Ghostbusters used to be in Universal Studios Florida with the Ghostbusters Spooktacular. But also, Ghostbusters is not just getting the parade and the tribute store as a test to see whether or not guests will have interest in the property. They are also coming back to Halloween Horror Nights. Once again, this will be the second time that Ghostbusters has been to Halloween Horror Nights in recent years. Not to mention the movie that this new house will be based on just came out this year. Ghostbusters is still making new movies that are at least moderately successful. I guess this last one wasn't really super popular or super successful. But the bottom line is that Sony, the property owners, are at least trying to keep the Ghostbusters property relevant today. But that's really the kicker there, isn't it? The fact that Sony owns this property and Universal does not own it themselves. I mean,
one thing to kick off 2026, let it be this. Become a board advisor. When I moved to Italy full time, I quit my 9 to 5 job. I wanted to win.
Welcome back to Wrestling. My name is John. My name is Jimmy. Today we have a part.
Hey, anything you're looking for, any player.
Movie. One big thank you for Christina for this. And if you will still in
But you know, I don't got any brand new stuff. But just give me a name.
quiz on the line, we are proposed to many
See what I had, because I got a lot of stuff right near me.
movies. But these are roughly, yeah.
I got Jason Tatum.
Hey, well,
It is, yeah, Jason Tatum.
I don't. We might make our own little movie.
I got some autographs, patches. I just want some people in here I can start selling.
Jimmy, I'm ready to dive in and get educated. Up to you. I'll see you on the other side. First of all, ooh, okay. This. Okay, so this is all some new stuff here. This is like like months ago. I heard. I haven't seen it. I don't know what it's about, but it's new. That's like the one thing I can say. Right? TV has They do.
But nobody watches them.
It's like, I don't have Apple TV. Like for what? I have 18 streaming services. I have HBO Max now, and now it's all bleed money in my pocket.
Once Severance comes back, though, that's the lead I'm getting back on. That.
Yeah, exactly. But for Pluribus, we have A. Batista, B. John Cena, C. The Rock, or D. Cody Rhodes. I'm between, I mean, any of these four could be on it. I know we figured about this.
Yeah, I agree.
If it was Cody, we would have seen like a screenshot. Maybe
Batista.
stuff we've seen for Street Fighter. You know what I mean? We would have seen something.
I would have watched it. But like, I love all four of those guys, so who's to say? I already.
In the day. All right, I'm gonna go here. It feels like the most. I mean, again, I don't know what the show's about. This feels like the most plausible. Pretty cool.
I went A. Yeah.
See,
John.
I'll take one. This kind of seemed like an opportunity to get his acting bag. Says John Cena had a cameo in the first season of Pluribus. He plays himself. Oh, and is part of the collective and explains to Carol why the collective has to eat human remains. I still don't know what this show's about. We just thought, who better than John Cena to make palatable the idea of eating human flesh, you know? Oh, Gilligan. Okay, so this is, I think, the creators that did Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Gilligan tells Deadline about the human cat. That's interesting. Okay, so I guess news to me, it's a little bit about human flesh, but I guess if there's someone to sell you eating human flesh, it's John Cena. Batista. What's that say? HTP. Human. This is not making me want to watch the show, I'll tell you that. All right. Next one. I got Smallville. A. Kane. B. The Big Show. C. The Undertaker. D. Mick Foley. Whoa. Was this the show? I don't say WB on it, but am I thinking of something else where Smallville would come on like after SmackDown on the CW or something? I think that's accurate. I feel like it's accurate. I think we all felt where it was like after SmackDown, so they had like a deal with the network where they get like wrestlers on it. Like during SmackDown, like stay tuned to see Edge in, you know what I mean?
Makes sense.
It feels like one of those situations.
What was on before SmackDown?
Ooh, nice. I only know for a while, obviously before we went to Netflix, Big Bang Theory was on before Raw. You'd always catch like the last like Bazinga of Big Bang Theory. I don't know. Have you ever watched Smallville?
Maybe just a little bit. After
Yeah,
SmackDown.
I've seen maybe collectively 2 episodes time wise from back then. It's a Superman thing. So, I don't know. I mean, all we feel be Superman ones. It feels like a Superman villain. 3, 2, 1.
I went A.
I went A. Kane. Let's go. Okay, he just felt like he'd be like a Superman villain. Big.
Cena.
I think is he laughing good night?
Maybe I'm not that. Jimmy coming out again.
Kane appears in the 6th season of Smallville. His character was Titan, a badass alien cyborg type creature who escaped from the Phantom Zone. Titan led an underground fight club and battled Clark Kent before being defeated. Wow, this is crazy. It looks, I mean, to be honest with you, it looks like they're in like a steel cage sort of wrestling ring sort of thing. Wow, this does seem like See No Evil era Kane. Definitely. Next one here, Smallville again. Like I said, they're getting all the superstars on it. We have Smallville again with Eve Torres, Ashley Massaro, C. Kenneth Michelle, D. Kelly Kennedy.
I almost theorized a woman from the last how we had Smallville. The previous question. I was gonna say like, oh, I think this person was also in Smallville.
Oh, really?
I didn't because
Was it one of these 4 women?
it was.
Ooh. I don't know. It's one that I don't know. They could have very much all of it.
Hey, Oscar.
You're yes. 3.
Can you
I went B.
Oh, Rob, wait, I went D. Kelly.
can you get off me, please?
Oh, wow, B.
I think I remember this too. Actually.
Do you? That's so funny. It says actually
You
appeared in
can
the 6th
cut
season of
me
Smallville.
later, okay?
I think it's
Come on, get off. Get my leg. Get off my leg.
Fight Club. Oh, is this the same episode?
Man, you gotta love cats. Jumped on.
I think actually it's great. I got the sense.
Oh shit! Why do people join and leave?
Doing the work hard. I think that is exciting.
What they want me to do? Like very sarcastic, screaming at the camera.
All right,
Man.
Okay, dude, tied up here. Bonus OGs. He named the 3rd wrestler to make an appearance in Smallville. Okay, one of these like random names on the screen here. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be Adam Cole. I see Kenny Omega on there.
Oh wait, I think I'm getting what's that? Unnatural.
Oh, Supernatural.
Supernatural.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds right. I haven't seen that either.
Um,
They're all the same.
I'm thinking we're up through that we're doing that. So yeah, okay. Let's read these movies.
I mean, I'm seeing some obvious ones where it would, wouldn't be real with the MJF. Like this is, not that time. But I'm seeing like
The Miz.
Randy Orton could very well be. Maybe going Orton. Miz. I could see. Wait a minute. What show was Miz in? I feel like we got Miz in the last one. I don't know if it was Smallville though.
I think it was Supernatural.
Oh, it was Supernatural.
That's what I'm just kind of thinking. But maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know why I'm drawn to this name,
Okay.
but I'm drawn here. Great. That's not any writing. 3, 2, 1.
I'm hoping I'm wrong. I went the Miz.
I want a Christian. Batista. The actor. The actor I was on there. I was drawn to Christian. I was on. All right, next one. Oh, hell yeah. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. A. Logan Paul. B. LA Knight. C. Sheamus. D. The Miz.
Easy
That name
Seamus.
is- Well, I think I've seen. I was at like I don't know, like my buddy had like a cabin or some shit, and we like put on this. I don't know. If there's 1 or 2 live action in shows. We watched one of them. They're kind of trash. They're. I think I do actually know answer maybe. Okay.
I'm sure I can get into the mindset of liking this movie for sure.
Oh my god.
I'm eliminating A, and I'm not sure if I'm crazy for that, but
Okay.
I think taking him out.
He voices Megan Fox.
I see why the trip does. LA Knight is in everything, and I always get him wrong, so it could be him too.
He was in all those like infomercials and
He
shit.
was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He was in
Oh my god.
so many random things. Like I think Triple H's workout video.
Yeah, that's
American Daddy movies, like so many things. Sheamus is a sneaky one. He sticks out to me,
especially he has the Irish accent.
and he
You
looks
could-
like a villain.
Sure, sure.
And then the Miz is an actor.
Yeah, the Miz is the Miz, like a pseudo Hollywood guy. All right, 3, 2, 1. I'm going Sheamus. I was hoping you would. I don't think pretty that's the answer.
Oh,
Yeah, he played Rocksteady, one of the which I don't know too much about. Yeah, I didn't know there was a rhino in it. But in TMNT, Sheamus portrays Rocksteady, a petty criminal who becomes a hulking, mutated rhinoceros. Sheamus has been a fan of TMNT since he was a child. And we told Sheamus about the audition, but he did not think he'd get the part. However, after talking to the producer, he was offered the role. Hell yeah! Again, we were like watching it like at like a cabin. I was like 6 of my friends, and I was like, "That's a wrestler! That's a wrestler, guys! Did you know that?"
pretty funny name.
Sheamus?
No,
Yeah.
Rocksteady.
Rocksteady's the coolest hell name. I
Something
like
like Meg Thee Stallion song.
Is it?
Rocksteady.
Oh, okay. Okay, next one we have Justice League X RWB or Ruby, I guess that is. Superheroes and Husband Part 2. I have no idea what this is. A Swerve, B Kenny Omega, C Adam Cole, D MJF. Ooh, so it's gonna be an all elite sort of thing. I think Ruby is like an anime thing, and I'm seeing a Justice League, I guess, crossover. I don't know. I really don't know much about this. I just
Taking out D. My guy MJF wouldn't do this nerdy comic book stuff. I don't know, man.
and but maybe for with nerdy comic book stuff, lovingly, I'm narrowed down to like, oh, this would make sense, or at least be cool. I think.
I think any of those first 3 guys could be into some comic book stuff.
I'm not exactly. Adam Cole very famously
Video
is
game
a gamer. Yeah, I feel like Swerve probably like one too. I haven't heard much about Swerve like being in it too much. Like I don't know. 3, 2, 1. Went B. I also went Kenny. Yeah. No way. In his first voice acting role, MJF portrays the DC villain Killer Croc. Oh no way.
I gotta turn in my star.
In Justice League X Ruby. In this film, Killer Croc takes on a more heroic persona by saving a child during the invasion of monsters. Oh, so and he's a face in it. There is a clip that we cannot play, but I appreciate the illusion. All right, next one. Jacob's wife. I have no idea what this is. Who's your master? Is this a movie or a softcore porn? Like the Wow.
Damn it.
Are you writing something down? You know this?
No,
Are you writing something down?
but something you
crazy.
said has influenced me to go with something that I kind of know something about something.
You ever like as a youth, you're just you're scrolling like some of the channels in the higher up, and you come across like one of those like I think it's just like short, like parody ones.
Oh yeah.
One that fits in. I talk about it all the time. My friends. I rewatch.
Yeah, I'm trying to get enough people in here. I can do some of the. I got a few autographs and some patches. Not patches, relics.
Cleavage feel, bro.
Bro, you just unlocked them. Oh my god.
What do you know about cleavage feel?
It might be-
It was all just hardcore. So all
Yeah.
this was actual story, and then every now and then, boom, or like
On
a
demand.
little bit of
It was
like,
on demand.
okay, I kind of just found it like HBO or stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Whoa.
yeah, dude, isn't that crazy?
It's like 2008, fool. That's crazy.
Yep. So that's Oh,
So on that
talking about me.
on that note, there's something I've seen surface with one of these wrestlers that I'm like, oh, that was kind of softcore pornish.
Really?
Yeah,
This is like that's vibration.
for sure.
Ooh.
Yep. Liv Morgan's wedding.
Morgan's wedding.
She interrupted Lana's wedding. Sorry.
Oh, I don't know. It could be. I have no. I never heard of the movie.
I'm gonna shut this off. I'm gonna try again
For sure. Quickly looking at it.
tomorrow.
Make sure.
Close
I've
around lunchtime.
done some like random act. I'm gonna go. It's not Edge. It's
Took some time off.
recent one. I wouldn't see. Oh, really fun. Edge. No, what? Oh, look at him! Oh my God, look at him! And Jacob's wife, CM Punk plays Deputy Colton, who has to